Today I wanted to talk to you about a very powerful manifestation technique or a very important part of the whole manifestation formula, if you like, that I've only become really good at in about the last 18 months. And so I wanted to tell you a little story about that, what it is and why I think you should try it, and how it all fits into the whole picture of how you create your own reality. So not quite 18 months ago, I made the decision to come back to Perth in Australia from Italy. Now, I didn't really make the decision though. It seems like I did to most of the outside world, but really I used this manifestation technique as sort of taught to me by my therapist, and it's very, very simple. She told me that when you are choosing anything in life, when you are, especially if you're unsure of what to do next, that what you should do is just push on all the doors and see which one's open. And then if more than one door opens, then make a choice between those two or three. But if doors aren't opening, then that's not the direction that you're supposed to go in. So what did that look like in this situation for me, and what does that have to do with manifestation? So I had a number of options, many. I could have stayed in Italy. So at the time I was thinking of, okay, I need to decide what to do. My relationship had ended, and so I had to move out of where I was living anyway, and so my choices were, should I stay in Italy, in the city I was in? Should I change cities in Italy? Should I move to another European country? Should I move to the UK and get a work permit? Should I move back to Australia? Should I move elsewhere in the world? I could have moved anywhere. I was completely location independent with the job that I had at the time, so it didn't matter where I was in the world. I just needed to choose. But I couldn't choose, and I didn't know what to do, and I wasn't very tapped into what my intentions were for what I needed from my life at the time. Like, I felt very lost about where I should place myself. Because I was very paralyzed by all this, talking about this in therapy, my therapist, who's also very spiritual, very much into the law of attraction and all of that, advised me to push on all the doors, the door of, the city I was living in, other cities in Italy, Ireland, the UK, Sweden, wherever I was thinking, and Perth, and, Melbourne or wherever, and just see what happened. So I decided to do that. Now, what does that look like? It looks like taking the normal action steps that you would take, but looking for which of those action steps open up easily to you, where it will be simple, where the path will be full of ease to go that way. So I started looking at the city I was in, looking for places to live, and that was really difficult. I just couldn't find a place that I thought was in the right area for me, at the right price, at the right time. That just wasn't available. There was nothing really available there in that way. I looked for Airbnbs to bridge the time so I could have more time to look. It was difficult to find a great Airbnb, again, with the same sort of criteria. So that was not an option. I looked at Ireland, but again, finding accommodation, that just was not working at all. Similarly, the UK, it just seemed like I wouldn't even be able to know where to choose. Should I choose London? Should I choose Bristol? I just really had no idea. Should I choose Edinburgh? I couldn't come up with a way to find, it was very cloudy. Nothing seemed easy. There was nothing this is great accommodation. I had all the choices in the world. So this continued. The only place that was full of ease was Perth, which the city I'm originally from. And looking back on it, that didn't make sense either, since I would say that actually Perth has been going through one of the biggest crises in terms of vacancy for rentals, vacancy for even purchases. So, in terms of logistics, basing it off of what is being said in the 3D, Perth should not have been a path of ease either, because I shouldn't have been able to find somewhere to live easily either. But there was plenty, and there was lots of opportunities. Obviously, there was more paths of ease here as well, because I already know people here, and so a lot of those elements. But I wasn't scared about having to make new friends or meet new people, none of that. The ease that I was focusing on, that I was interested in, was the ease of finding somewhere to live, and of somewhere to like easily have a lot of options, choose the best option and go with that. And the only door that opened for me was Perth. So reluctantly, and I do say reluctantly, I took her advice and came back to Perth. And at the time, I just thought, well, like this seems like a defeat. I don't really know if I want to do this, etc. And admittedly, when I came back, I struggled for a little while. I was still holding on to this resentment because I didn't want this to be the place. But since being back here, obviously my life has changed in so many different ways, like really changed a lot in less than 18 months. Not only in terms of, okay, this is where I live now, but a lot of the ease and flow of my life has improved greatly. I've met my partner. I've got a lot of inspiration for the work that I want to do, and I'm starting a big, massive project. I've since left my job that I had. Like, I've done so many things in this time because of the way that everything has come together, and everything feels full of ease. And ease is really a big, important part of what I want to experience on a day-to-day basis as well. So, what does that mean for you and manifestation, this story? What does it mean? When you are a co-creator with the universe. So what does that mean? That means that you just need to do a little bit and the universe does the rest. So you just need, and if you can't do, as like we've talked about in other videos, these steps, if you don't have a clear intention, so you don't know what to visualize about, so you don't know where to apply symbolic action and so on and so forth, if you can't follow the usual steps of manifestation, then really you're just skipping to the last step. And that last step is full trust and surrender in the universe to guide you in the direction that you need to go for your highest good. We need to practice that anyway, but a great time to practice that is when you don't know what to do and when you aren't clear and you don't have a clear intention. But you need to make a choice because something needs to change. Or you're thinking of making a change, but you just don't know which way to go. The best thing to do, if you don't have a clear intention, and so you can't visualize because you don't know what you're trying to visualize because you don't know what you want, and you can't take symbolic action because you don't have a clear vision and intention, is to skip to this last step of allowing the universe to show you the way. So how does that work? You do what you can do. So if you want to, like I did, have to find a whole new city and country to live in, you can just push on all the doors and see which one opens easily. The one that opens easily, and then the next step opens easily, and the next part and the next part, that's the path you're supposed to follow. Even if you think that's the one, I don't want to follow that path. I want something else. You have to trust that if it's open, if all the doors open easily for you, if the path reveals itself easily for you, then that is the path that is the path of least resistance. That is the path that gets you to your highest good, your highest purpose, your fullest potential, your highest fulfillment, your greatest joy faster. Even if you don't understand how that could possibly be true. So then the next part of that is, of course, you need to really trust that that is true. And the only way you'll learn to do that is by trying this out. So if you learn to, for example, maybe you want a different job. And so you think, well, maybe I should go back to school and study. Or maybe I've seen this job, maybe I should apply for that job. Or whatever it is. Then try those things. Start doing those things. Apply for some jobs. look at what it will take to get into university, see how easy it is to enroll and start doing the studies and get into the course and paying the money. If you don't have the money, see how easy it is to get a scholarship, etc. Try the things. The doors that open show you that is the fastest, most efficient, even if it doesn't seem like it, even if it seems like it's really going a backwards, around the long way, ultimately it will be the path of least resistance. And so therefore it will be the fastest and most efficient and best path to get you to exactly where you need to be next in this journey of creating your own reality. If it was, for example, like a friend of mine is looking at buying a house, and then there's some problems with this house in terms of it needs a new roof, other structural things. So she has to make a decision about that. Should she continue with the purchase of the house or look for another house, or etc.? What should she do? All the things that she can do. She should find out from contractors what it will cost to do that. How easy it is for them to do that. She should look into what other properties are on the market. She should talk to, maybe some other people that she knows who've recently renovated, etc. Lots of things. Whichever one presents as the path that opens up easily and fills her with a sense of ease and seems like it's just flowing in that direction so easily. It makes her feel good, makes her feel calm, makes her feel like, okay, I'll just follow this, and this path will carry me along, because that's what the path of least resistance feels like, that you're being carried along with the flow. Then that's the path she should follow, because that will take her to her ultimate intention of being a homeowner in the way that will actually be best for her, that will also offer her so many other things that she doesn't currently see in her life. All these other things will be added to it. Just like coming back to Perth for me has added to my overall experience of life in ways that I wasn't thinking about, I wasn't planning on, I hadn't thought about, I hadn't projected onto. But being here has had a lot of things slot into the puzzle in ways that I otherwise could not have imagined. And I had to trust that. I had to trust that, and so I did. And I keep doing that with other things. I keep telling myself that all the time. There's so many sayings for you, that the things that are meant for you won't pass you by. You have to trust in that. And what does that mean you have to do? Nothing. You don't have to do anything. You just have to push on the doors to see which are the things that are meant for you. If you're in a relationship and you're wondering if it's the right relationship for you, if it doesn't feel full of ease, if it's full of effort and and the effort especially is one-sided, or the effort just never ceases, it's not the right relationship for you. You don't need to keep pushing on that closed door of a relationship. If you are dating someone and they aren't seeming to be very, they're not really reciprocating in the way you would like, the speed isn't at the speed you would like for progressing the relationship forward and all sorts of things like that, then you are pushing on a door that is closed. If you are dating someone and they're eager to see you, you're eager to see them, things are flowing, things are just moving along without you efforting. The relationship is just moving and developing and growing naturally. That is, you are being carried along on the stream of least resistance to a place where this relationship becomes a bigger part of your life in an important way for the reality that you are creating. Doesn't mean that this person's the one, it just means that this is all important. So keep going with that, because that's filled with ease. As soon as it's not, if that relationship should hit a dead end and is no longer the path, then you need to trust that, let it go, move on to the next thing. So if you're in a position right now where you are trying to make a decision about some big thing in your life, try this strategy instead. Try the strategy of pushing on the doors and seeing which one's open. And if the door doesn't open easily, if you can't get an interview for that job, if the course you want to do is already closed for enrollments, if the house you want to buy sold yesterday, if the place you really wanted to rent isn't available, if the city you're looking at living in is not yielding to you and making your life easy, those doors are closed. So push on other doors and see which door opens, and then trust that if the door opens, the universe wants you to go that way. And why? Because that path there is the path of least resistance to the life that you are creating. What life are you creating? There's plenty of elements that you are creating all the time about the way you want life to feel, about the level of fulfillment you want, the sort of relationships you want, the sort of romantic partner that you want, the sort of income you want, certain level of abundance you want, the level of ease that you want, the level of peace that you want, the level of stimulation that you want. These are things you are creating all the time, whether you're doing it very intentionally or not, hopefully intentionally, but if not, you're still creating a reality with these elements. And to get you there, the universe knows how, much better than you do. All you need to do as a co-creator is push on the doors, and the universe will show you which door is open and therefore which door to walk through to your most ultimate experience of this reality. If you've done that already or you already live this way, I would love for you to share with us in the comments a story of your own. Or if you want to try it, what do you want to try it with right now? And which part about this is the most exciting and which part of it is the most scary? I would love to hear all of that and more, anything you want to share in the comments. And I'll see you soon.